appreciate every single one of you being here tonight for the Cohoes School Board Candidates Forum, I think we'll call it, rather than a debate, I think we'll call it a Candidates Forum. My name is Barbara Bartoletti. I'm a member of the Rensselaer County League, since the league has a policy that moderators do not come from the county that the forum is being held in. And your timekeeper tonight is Deb Liebman, and she is going to keep the candidates on task. And I will be, well, a couple of things I want to tell you. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the League of Women Voters, but the League is a non-partisan but politically active educational organization that strives to increase citizen participation in government. And I would venture to say there is nothing more important today than citizen participation in their government. We do not support or oppose any candidate for office. We often moderate candidates forums to make sure that the public gets their questions answered. So that is what we're here to do tonight. So we drew lots, and the candidates are sitting in the number starting with Mikkel. Got that right? Okay, number 1. And so he will go first with his opening statement, and then we will go down the line. And then when it comes to closing statements, we'll go just the reverse. So, I can't even see your plaque this far. Susan will get the closing statement, since she's going to be last. She will get to go have her voice heard last. So we try and keep it even all the way around. And I'm going to let the candidates introduce themselves to you. But let me tell you, they will each have a 2-minute opening statement, and then they will have a 2-minute closing statement. And in between, we have, and I was so gratified and enthusiastic about the fact that the senior class here at Cohoes High School actually developed the questions to be asked tonight. I was hoping that some of them would be here to recognize them. Is anybody here from the senior class? Parents of children in the senior? Oh, they're not children anymore. Well, I want to congratulate you as a parent and the teachers here at Cohoes. These questions were to the point, well developed, and I will say that these young people who are graduating and going on in life will be your leadership in the future, because it was extremely well done. So I wanted to recognize them, but I think they're all playing baseball. That's what they're doing tonight. Deb will let the candidates know when they have 1 minute left, and when they have 30 seconds left, and then when it's time to stop. And I will be asking the questions, but first, let's get to your first candidate for an opening statement.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Dorsey. I have lived in Cohoes for a little over 13 years now, if not more here. Kind of came in here as it seems as this community. I have 2 active children right now. I have a 9th grader here at the high school. I also have a 5th grader who will be graduating from Harmony Hill the next couple of weeks. Just to give a little bit of background about myself, I grew up in Albany, did not grow up from around here, so I feel like I can potentially bring a different kind of perspective to the environment that we have here. I've been extremely active in everything that my children have done since, the beginning of kindergarten all the way through, whenever they graduate in the next couple of years. I love having my hand in everything that I can potentially do to kind of help them become better people, better humans. I feel that I could also help with the school district as well. I've been running the PTA over at the elementary school for the last 4 years as the president. I've been, a couple different positions over there. I've always enjoyed doing things for the children. Hopefully I can, give that effort here as well, because that's part of the goal.
Okay, number 2.
I'm
Marianne, maybe it would be better if we women need a louder voice.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
I'm Marianne Gendron. I'm seeking my 2nd term on the Board of Education. I graduated 3 children out of the Cohoes City School District. I'm a registered nurse by trade. I have served on the board at Little League, on all the PTA committees from elementary school, middle school, high school, and yeah, I'm very active in the community. That's about it. That's me.
Sarah?
Well, I wrote a speech, so sorry guys. My name is Sarah Burwell, and I'm honored to be one of the board candidates. First, I wanted to express my sincere gratitude to the League Women's Voters, as well as the PTO and PTA for hosting this important forum. Thank you for providing an opportunity for us to connect with the community and share our visions for the future of our schools that I myself attended and graduated from 2 decades ago. For me, Cohoes isn't just a place on a map. It's been my lifelong home. It's where my husband and I have chosen to build our family and our future, and it's a community that I care deeply about. My connection here is both personal and profound. As a proud parent, I've had the privilege of watching my 3 children journey through our district. 2 are currently thriving at Harmony Hill, and my oldest has graduated. Beyond my personal connection, I bring a unique and valuable perspective shaped by my 7 years as a former employee of the Cohoes City School District. I've had the opportunity to work directly in one of our school buildings and later in central administration office. This inside knowledge has provided me with the invaluable insights into the day-to-day operations, the dedication of our staff, and the challenges and opportunities within our system. I believe my deep roots in this community and my firsthand experience within our schools as a student and a former employee, and my ongoing commitment as a parent with children in the district make me a well-qualified candidate. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan Guzzi Paradis. I was born and raised, graduated probably a little bit earlier than Sarah from Cohoes High School. I actually moved out of Cohoes for a while, had some children, moved back in, and chose Cohoes to be the place for my children to grow up and have a sense of community and to have their roots planted here in Cohoes. The most important thing I feel about Cohoes is the sense of community and how everybody is out for one another and really wants to support each other in the community and in the school districts. My first term on the school board has opened my eyes to so many great things that are happening in our schools right now. I have chosen to volunteer at many events at the elementary schools, the middle schools, the high school, and I just really enjoy interacting with all of the kids and all of the staff and the employees.
Okay. Now that they have introduced themselves, we're going to move to the question period. And what I want to emphasize to you again, which I think you should be very proud of, these questions were developed by seniors in high school. And we looked them over, the league members looked them over, and decided that they got to the nub of the issues and that we would use their questions. So when you see a senior in high school, congratulate them on being smart young people. I'm going to start with question number 1, and you will go first, and then we'll just reverse. So the questions, you will have question number 2 first, question number 3 first, and we will proceed that way. So, Mikkel, why are you running for school board, and what are your exact qualifications?
I am running for school board because I've been active in my school since my first daughter was in kindergarten, running for the PTA, being very helpful with any ongoing activities that the school has been having. As I mentioned earlier, I've been fully involved in everything that they do. I believe my qualifications that I have in order to be a part of this board is just knowing the inner workings of the schools,
Anytime you want me to repeat the question, I will.
Okay, can you?
Sure. Why are you running for the school board, and what are your exact qualifications, other than all of you are parents?
I'm running for the school board again for my second term. As Sue stated, being on the Board of Education for the last 3 years has definitely introduced me to a different side of the school and how it runs than you see as just being a parent. I'm an advocate by nature. I think it's probably comes from being a nurse. So I always feel like that's my best quality is I'm always going to advocate for the health and safety of the kids, both mentally and physically, and then also for our staff. And I feel strongly about making sure that we have what our kids need to thrive in this environment and this future that we are giving them. And I enjoy seeing their success. I'm very proud that we've had so many comments on the great questions from our senior class, but I'm not surprised because we have really, really smart kids in this district, and I just love seeing them thrive.
I'm running because, as I said earlier, my roots run so deep here, and not running just doesn't make sense for me. I care too much not to run, and I want to advocate for my children, your children, all the children in Cohoes. As I said earlier, again, my background is 7 years working in this district, both in a building and at central office. And I've learned so much over these last few years, and I want to keep continuing to help this district, even though I don't work here. Background, I am a certified paralegal, and I can navigate the complicated laws that most people don't understand. That the combination of my community ties, the inside knowledge of our schools, and again, my legal background, I think that makes me qualified to run.
Mary Ann? Sue. Okay, this is Mary Ann. Okay.
It's okay. I am running for the school board for a second term because I really do believe in the school system. I believe in all of the educators that are here in Cohoes School District. I feel that they need the support and the resources and that is available to them so that they can provide the services to our students. I am a strong proponent of safety in schools with less distractions from outside social media, also safety from violence. I am a big proponent of open communication between the school district and the parents. I believe that what our children are experiencing in the schools needs to be communicated to our parents, and they need to feel like they have a partner in the school district and their children.
Thank you. We're going to now move to question number 2, and Mary Ann, you get to start this question, and the question is, what are 1 or 2 areas that you feel should be a priority in the district over the next 3 to 5 years?
One thing I definitely think that is a priority, and New York State is helping us along with this, is removing cell phones from the educational environment. I do think that we need to really look at how we can get our children into an environment where they can learn and not be distracted and constantly worried about who's posting what, who's saying what, who's doing what. And that's definitely my top priority coming into this next school district, as well as probably my second priority is making sure that all of our students have the resources that they need
if you'd like me to
Yeah,
repeat
go
the
ahead.
question, I will.
Yeah.
What are 1 or 2 areas that you feel should be a priority in the district over the next 3 to 5 years?
For me, I would definitely say I think it's school safety. I think right now we do a really good job with our school safety, and I think we just need to better it just a little bit. And I think that starts with the diligence of our staff, more locked entry points, cameras, and listening to students when they actually say something's gonna happen. We need to listen more. That's what we need to do. That's what my belief is when I was working in a school. And that's where I stand on.
So my major aspect is the same as Mary Ann, getting the social distractions out of our kids' hands during the school day. They really, really need to be focused on interacting with each other personally, not over electronics. They need to develop the resources available and the support that they need to develop as an individual who will achieve outside of school in whatever career they choose to go to, whether it be college or the trades or the military. That's what our job is to protect our kids and put them through school healthy and have them be productive people outside in the world.
Okay, we're going to move, and Sarah, this will be your first go at this question. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Here you are sitting right next to me. Thank you.
So I will have to agree that I think safety is the number 1 thing that we need to focus on in school over the next few years. Whether it be, again, taking phones out of the hands of people that are here, making sure that there's the ability for the kids to come in and have a safe haven somewhere to go so that they don't have to worry about, what you may see on social media. It's just making sure that they are as safe as can be within these walls, just because that's why we send them here. We don't send them here to be bullied. We don't send them here to be, anything along those lines. The second thing that I think that we need is just getting the children what they need when they need it. So if someone is having an issue outside of school with social media, something like that, having just the clientele to help them with what they need and when they need it.
Okay, and this clearly has come from a high schooler. Good for him or her. And it just needs to be a little augmented. Now we all did get, so now, Sarah, you get this next question first. What are your thoughts on school safety, particularly in the area of active shooter? I think he meant active shooter, safety drills. He or she.
Okay. My thought is we have processes and policies in place to have an end result of everyone is safe. They practice 12 drills a year for lockdowns. I might be mixing that up. 8 fire drills. So they are practiced throughout the year, throughout the school year, so that the kids know what to do when something happens. Previously, maybe a year or 2 ago, we had the Cohoes Police Department in here educating our staff on what to do. And I think that's huge too. The staff needs to know what to do when something like that happens. And I think if we keep having these trainings and teaching these kids what to do, then everyone will stay safe. I think I answered that question.
Okay, so I am actually on the safety committee of the board, and we meet regularly with the Cohoes Police Department, the fire department. I believe that a very close working relationship with the Cohoes Police Department and the fire department is integral to our children feeling safe in school. Like Sarah said, we have them come in for trainings with the staff. to help them to know what to do during the drills. They can reinforce the codes for the teachers, for the staff, notice things that if they're here and the drill's going on, they can notice certain things that are not happening, that if communication is not happening throughout the building, they can help their staff to fix those problems. I feel that the students absolutely, even though it's horrible that we have to say it today, need to participate in the drills because we never know what's going to happen to any of us on any day. It could be an active shooter in the school, it could be an active shooter in your employment, but we all need to be aware of our surroundings and what is going on.
Okay. Sure. What are your thoughts on school safety, especially around the issue of active shooter drills, and what your input would be to the board surrounding that issue? God forbid.
So we never anticipate something like that happening, nor do we ever want anything like that to happen. I believe that, the school does a lot to go through the drills. My daughter who's in high school has said multiple times that they have the lockdown drills, and they know what they need to do when they need to do it. But I think just implementing that and showing them, and maybe doing a couple more drills so that in the instance that something like that should happen, that everyone just knows what exactly to do. I feel the board having communication with the police department, the fire department, which is very big in this community, is a great help. Most of the kids here know the fire department and the police department, so I think it helps them feel a little bit more comfortable in a tough situation, if that makes sense. Just seeing people that they know that are there to help them and get them to where they need to be.
Okay.
I will echo the sentiments that I hope that we never actually have to experience this firsthand. But I think that we have put into place safety monitors in all of our schools to assist us with trying to, making sure that we keep our kids safe, and the drills that we do. Preparedness is the best defense that we have at this point. But we also need to empower our kids and offer them ways to see something, say something. Encourage them that if you think something's off, tell somebody, talk to somebody, and if you don't want to say something, say it. Find a way to say it anonymously, or we need to provide them a way to say it anonymously. But I think that our kids are important in that role, and empowering them to talk to us about their fears, about the things that are occurring to them in their day-to-day lives as well.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. Sue, you'll get to answer this first. The next question is, what are your plans to improve student and family engagement so that parents' voices are heard and represented?
So I actually, coming out of COVID, I think we had a very difficult time getting our parents back into the schools. A lot of parents didn't know if it was open, if they were able to come back, if they were able to participate. And the communication is the most important thing from the school district, to let our parents know that they are allowed in our schools. They should be participating. They should be talking to us. There should be an open line of communication between our parents and our school district. I encourage anybody to come to the school board meetings. There is an open forum at the end of any school board meeting where a taxpayer of the city can have any of the concerns that they have about the school district. We will have meetings with probably 2 people in the audience, and I think that people need to know that the board is there to listen to them and to understand their feelings about their children and what they need in their schools.
what are your plans to improve student and family engagement so that parents' voices are heard and represented?
My plan would be to let people know that, again, it's an open forum, you can come, speak your mind, speak your piece. I've run plenty of PTA meetings at the elementary school where there's been me and just 2 or 3 other people, where there's, not a lot of people coming in, but we always like to let people know what is available to them. I don't know, giving out more, I know that we do a lot more on social media here in the district, just putting out a little bit more, just letting people know that they don't need to be afraid to come to a meeting. I mean, myself, I've only been to the last couple of meetings, but my biggest thing is that at these meetings, you can't give an opinion on something if you don't know what's going on. And I say that every time, or every type of meeting that I've ever been to. So just get your voice out there, get yourself out there, and just see what's going on.
I too would encourage anyone who has an issue or has something that they want to know or to say to always come to a board meeting. They can always email the Board of Education, but I think our schools have done a really good job in the last few years of creating an environment and activities to bring the parents into the schools and engage with them in a social manner. So it's not always, I have an issue and we have to fix this. It's let's hear what you have to say. Parents are able to join all of the PTA committees. We have just at the high school a couple months ago, the dodgeball tournament was the stands were filled with parents and parents whose kids weren't even playing. And the middle school they do beginning of the year picnic, barbecue, cookout thing where all the parents are encouraged to come and talk and meet the staff. And I think that those and more events like that are important, and it brings the parents in a non-threatening environment, and then they're able to open up a little bit better.
Basically the same as the other candidates had said, we have to keep an open line of communication with our families, and you have to communicate in a way that will open them up more to you and not be afraid of you. Going to events, talking to parents instead of kind of going off to the side with a click, you have to talk to them. Again, they should attend board meetings. A lot of people should attend board meetings, and if not, they should be checking the agenda bi-weekly to see what's going on in our district. So that's my thoughts. I think we just need to open up the communication more and make sure that the community isn't afraid to talk.
Okay, we're going to move to the next question, and this will go first to you, Mikkel. And that question is, how do you plan to combat chronic absenteeism? Didn't know that was a thing, but chronic absenteeism. Apparently these high schoolers know a lot about it.
I mean, that's something that really starts at home. If you think about it, your kids can't learn if they're not at school, so maybe there needs to be just maybe the parents need to be more involved in what their children are doing, making sure the parents are actually getting to the school. Maybe they need to, instead of just leaving them at the house, make sure that they're dropping
think probably for all of you, I think probably a lot of this has arisen, particularly in the teenage mind, of what happened during COVID. I think a lot of them felt during COVID that they were able to turn off to some degree, and perhaps that's where these high schoolers are going, that in their past, that type of absenteeism was rampant during COVID, and so it's a question in their minds, which I think we as adults need to really be aware that our kids have that kind of concern, that it might be a problem that we should all be aware of. So I'm going to go to your next, Marianne.
I think that probably our best tool would be communication with the parents of the kids who are chronically absent. Trying to communicate and understand what is the cause of the absenteeism. Is something, what's going on in the home, what's going on with the child, what can, in trying to individualize some approaches to assist the families in getting the kids to school, because they don't learn if they're not here, and it is important for them to be present. So I think that communicating and trying to individualize to the issues would be our best defense.
I think that we want our kids to want to be here, and I think that's how, as an educator, you would want to, you want to make them an experience, and you want them to want to come here, but you also have to put it on the student a little bit more than the parent. Make it more engaging, make them not stressed. I mean, I don't want to say that's the correct term, but they want, you want your child to want to learn, and if they don't want to be here, then there's a reason why they don't want to be here. It can fall on the parents, sure, but I don't know that I've ever had any one of my 3 kids say, I don't want to go to school today. They like going to school, they like their teachers, they like their environments. So if a child is chronically absent, I think there's an underlying issue, and maybe administration or others need to get involved to find out what that issue is to help that child.
So actually, to let you know, chronic absenteeism is a real thing. It is still going on. The statistics are out there. There are kids that miss 50% of the school year still to this day. It is a real problem, and it is the community and the schools' place to help these kids get into the schools. We've enacted a couple of programs where we are participating with the Cohoes Police Department, so that if something happens on a child during the evening, makes the school aware, the child might not be in school today because of something that happened, child is going to be late today because of something that happened, and the communication needs to be out there between the community, the police, all of the staff at the school, and also getting the resources into the school to help the children that are experiencing the bad situation either at home, in an environment, or at school, and to help them get the resources that they need. And those are the most important resources that we need to get into the schools are for the children and their mental health, and to get them in place in a healthy, safe learning environment.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to Marianne. It'll be your first for this question, and that is, are there any programs you would like to see in our district that we currently don't have?
Well, we don't, it's not a program that we currently have today, but one that we are planning for in the future is the alternative learning program. And that is to, to assist those kids who cannot learn within the confines of the school
anytime you want me to repeat the question, I will.
I think I got this.
Okay. Good for you.
I would like to see a program for kids that actually, are really struggling, a program that gets them the help they need and then gets them back into the regular program. It has to be staffed with teachers, a social worker, a way to get them their 22 credits that they need, in the education that they need. We need a program like that, so strong advocate.
So, mine actually is a little fun thing that I would like to see the school do. I have experience in the elementary school with another school district that they have a Future Ready Pathways program, or not Future Ready Pathways. It's like the builders of tomorrow, and it gets the kids in the elementary school engaged sooner about trades and about engineering programs and architecture programs, and really exposes the elementary school students to different career paths that they may not have ever thought about before. And it really helps in the STEM program, and it's just near and dear to my heart, and I really like it. But it takes funding, takes volunteers, and it's just one of those little extra things.
And I'll repeat it if you want.
I'm just trying to think.
Okay.
What kind of program? So, Cohoes has a lot of different programs. I can't think of one off the top of my head right now that I would want to implement. We do a lot for our children. We have a lot of different things for them to do while they're here. Everything that was mentioned definitely sounds like something that would work well for our district. I can't think of one personally myself that I would like to
Okay, we're going to go to the next question, and that will be started by you, Sarah. And that would be, if elected, what voice do you hope to bring to the Board of Education?
I feel like that's a trick question.
Somebody figured it might be, I guess.
A safe learning environment, more education, a voice. I guess there's a ton of things I can say right now. I just don't know how I would explain that to a student. An open mind. I want, the students to be comfortable and have fun at school still, and, get to have their education and their sports and their arts and enjoy being here.
So I guess I would bring the voice of making sure that the children are getting the resources that they need to have a safe and productive learning environment. I am a big proponent of making sure that our fields and our facilities are kept up so that our kids can play their sports and be active. I also am a big proponent of the arts so that they can participate in the plays. I would really love to see music come back into the schools more as a program for kids to be more involved. I would love to see it back in the elementary schools more. And I think that getting the teachers and the staff the resources that they need to be able to teach and have our kids enjoy where they are.
So I guess the voice I'd have to bring to the board would have to be my dad voice, of course. Just making sure that the kids were here doing what they were supposed to be doing, cleaning up after themselves like they're supposed to do at home. Just making sure that they have what they need when they need it, whether it's, and this is just my own personal experience, bringing softball bags to school and dropping them off at the front desk here, just making sure that we give them every opportunity they need in order to succeed and, do what they have to do while we're here.
Marianne?
For me, I guess my voice would have to be continued advocacy for their health and their safety.
Okay, moving right along. All right, Sue, you will be first to answer this question, and the question is, typical high school. This probably doesn't address the elementary and middle school, but they really want to know, do you have any plans to offer more elective classes in the high school? And I'm assuming they mean advanced classes or?
I mean, our high school, thanks to our principal Tarlo, offers a lot of advanced classes. I think that our kids actually have a very good feel for advanced placement classes. They might be maybe asking, I don't know if there's like a alternative for like computer programming or an alternative besides going to BOCES, maybe, having the photography class, different things like that. I definitely believe that everybody needs to have whatever their interests are brought to the table, so that if they want something that, and I absolutely have the confidence, like I said, in our principal Tarlo, that if the kids were to go to her and say they wanted some alternative programs, she would definitely listen to the kids and be a big proponent for them, and she would definitely bring that to the board.
Okay, Kel?
I feel we have here a lot of opportunities for the children with advanced placement, extracurricular activities that they can do. I feel if there was anything that we didn't offer that a student would be interested in, definitely bring it to the attention of the administration at the school, because children learn different ways. So if there's something that one child needs in order to progress, that probably need not be the only child that has that problem. So I think any information that we have or any additional programs we can offer will definitely make the school environment here a better place for those children.
Marianne?
So my feeling on this is, as a board member, it is not our job to supply the kids with these additional learning opportunities. It's our job to enable our staff, like Laura, who has exponentially grown our extra credit programs. Our kids graduated with more credits last year, college credits, than ever before. I can't remember the number, but it was huge and it was astonishing that they graduated with that many credits. So our job as a board member isn't to provide the extra classes, it's to enable our staff to be able to feel comfortable enough to say, this is what we want for our kids and we want to add this, this, and this. So that would be what I would do, is I would always bring my encouragement to the staff.
Sarah?
Can you repeat it?
Yes. Do you have any plans to offer more elective classes in the high school?
Short answer is no. I think I agree with Susan. We have so many, and that and FRP mixed together is incredible. I would say that I would listen or encourage Mrs. Tarlow to listen to students if they wanted more, but as of right now, I have no plans.
Okay, now everyone did get a chance to answer that, correct? Okay, so we're going to move, it's back to you, Kel, for the next question. And I realize some of you brought this up, but it is a question I think all of you get to answer, so everybody gets a chance to answer this fully, because it will be a big issue cut in this school year. And the question from this student is, how do you plan to implement Governor Hochul's bell-to-bell no cell phone policy? So I'm gonna give everybody another chance, make sure everybody got to answer that question.
So, just attending, the last couple of school board meetings, I know that it has been a topic of conversation. I know there's grants in place, to get I don't remember the exact name, but the pouches in order for them to, put their cell phones in. I think that there's going to be a lot that goes into that, just kind of funneling all the kids into the school at one time, making sure that everything's secure. It's going to be a learning curve for everyone. I know that they're going to be implementing iPad passes and all that other kind of stuff as well. It's not going to be something that's going to be easy. It's not going to be something that's going to be liked right away. But I think inevitably it will help the students learn and be safe, and that's really why we're here. It's just for the school, for the kids, making sure they're safe when they're here.
Yeah.
So, again, it won't be the Board of Education that is implementing these programs. It's the Board of Education that's going to be encouraging and voting and helping our teachers and our staff to have the tools that they need to make this as seamless as possible. And we have had, Laura has visited other schools that have done this and has a plan in place for when we finally do implement this. So our role as a board is to back our staff and make sure that they have what they need to make this a successful endeavor.
Eric?
Can you repeat it?
Sure. Let me find it. How do you plan to implement Governor Hochul's bell-to-bell and no-cell policy?
I like the policy, and I would love to be a part of helping write that policy with the board. I think bringing in the administrators and listening to the staff on how it can be done is going to be key in this. They see the kids in the hall with the phones. They know how their reactions are going to be, and we need to definitely listen to the teachers, the staff, the administrators, coaches, all around to write a policy that is actually going to work for our district.
So, the no cell from bell to bell, actually, I have been in discussions with that from about a year ago. We have been talking about it as a board. We also have been talking with our administrators about it. We have actively supported them in going to other schools to see where it is currently being implemented, because there are many other school districts that are already doing it with great success. We will be going to a pouch system for the kids, a single point of entry. They will be able to lock their phones up when they walk in and unlock them when they leave. The support that we need to give to the staff and the teachers and all the educators, everyone that is involved needs to be there for them to know that this is important for our kids to be able to learn and to further themselves emotionally and mentally. And I applaud actually the administration in our schools for taking the step and doing the research and finding out what needs to be done and how to implement it, and then working and having open communication with the parents and the students about what is going to happen, not hiding it from them, but having open communication.
And everybody did get to answer that question? Yes, okay. So, we're gonna move to it's 7 o'clock. I think this goes until, Deb, until 7:30 or till 7:30? Okay, we have time for a few more questions, then we'll have closing statements. Next question, and that, we will start with you, Marianne. And that is, how do you see the role of the Board of Education in the operation of a school district and its budget?
So the role of the school board is to ensure that we are meeting the needs of the students within the confines of the money we have available to us. It's researching different grants and enabling our administrators and our staff to also seek out ways that we can potentially fund the things that need to be funded for the kids, for our teachers. We need to make sure that they have what they have. So it's sometimes a balancing act of, you know, what needs to be done right now versus what can we do later. And so that's the role of the board, I feel, is making sure that we don't put too much of a burden on our taxpayers and still get the kids what they need and the staff what they need.
The role of the school board is to set policy and oversee the budget. In Cohoes, we unfortunately face some real financial constraints, and it's unfortunate, but thankfully we are rich in the way the adults and our administrators and principals help our students and get them what they need. And unfortunately, if we don't have the funds, that's okay, but we have to make a choice. And that said, we just want our kids to have a strong experience and have access to the programs that they want access to and enjoy sports and the arts and still get their education that they need.
Yes, how do you see the role of the Board of Education, the operation of a school district and its budget?
So that's a difficult one because we all want to have every single program that is presented to us. We all want to have every single, to be fully staffed, to have the programs available. And it's a balancing act of trying to decide where we're going to spend some money and not some, and take away money if we have to cut a program. It is very hard to do, but it is something that is so important, and I think the public has been made aware that we are now in a fiscally sound budget process, and we try not to can't even think of it, our taxpayers, to have them, spending their last dime in school taxes. But we also need to realize that programs are expensive. There are many, many grants out there that we all take advantage of, that our administration is very good at looking into and finding money in ways that you wouldn't even think about.
I feel the role for the board in regards to the budgets is to kind of be a sounding board for the school district for everything that we need, figuring out what needs to be done immediately versus what can wait a little bit, just like Marianne said, giving the opportunity for the programs that we know that the kids enjoy doing, as opposed to cutting something that they, as opposed to cutting something, just giving the opportunities for whatever the kids need, whatever the schools need, whether it be administration, teachers, or Chromebooks or anything like that. It just gives them a better thought of what is what they need.
Okay, and, so did you already, you did answer this, okay, it's getting late, folks. Okay, then Sarah, you get to start this question. This is kind of the fluff question that I think we want to end on a nice note. What are one or two strengths you see in the Cohoes School District?
We have so many strengths. I would say our dedicated teachers staff and administrators. They rock it, they really do. Our students love them, and I think that's huge. Another strength, our arts program, I absolutely love. I think it's growing and becoming something huge, and I'm looking forward to see where it takes us in these next few years.
Would you have a minute to define that?
The junior drama club, all the drama clubs do an amazing job here. You should take time to watch them one day. It's absolutely amazing to see.
And drama's important in life,
Sure.
very important. Makes some people a lot of money too.
Yeah, so actually to go up, what Sarah's saying is that, I'm not sure how many people know it, but our Cohoes High School Drama Club just participated in Proctor's over the weekend for the High School Musical Awards, which is a huge accomplishment, and the dedication of the staff and the educators and everyone from the top to the bottom are really dedicated to Cohoes schools. You see it when you walk through the halls of the high school, you see it when you walk through the halls of the middle school, any of the elementary schools. Our staff and educators are here for the kids, and they know that our children are their number one priority, and they want our children to succeed, and they look for ways to make them succeed.
Okay, Mikhail. Sure. Gives you a chance to really infuse with the school district here. What are one or two strengths you see in the Cohoes School District?
The biggest strength that I see within all of the entire district is just the people. Everybody is always coming out to help whenever they need, whether it's at the elementary level, the high school level. The administration is awesome. It's just, there's a lot of stigma around the city of Cohoes because everybody's like, oh, why do you live there? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? It's just, you have to make the environment and the community that you want to live in. I didn't know what I was getting into when I moved here, but it's just been a great, everybody's wonderful. I've done so many different things. I've learned from a lot of different people. I've met a bunch of different people. It's just the people here in general, like who comes out on a Monday night to sit here and watch four people sit here and talk about God knows what. Like, this is awesome.
I agree.
And I'm gonna echo that our educators and our administration is definitely a huge, strong point of our school district, but also, as Mikhail said, the people, it's our community. I mean, if any of you have ever been challenged to raise money for the school for any kind of event, it is humbling sometimes to see the amount of money that our businesses, people who don't even have kids in our district, will donate. And it's that community environment that, honestly, I love the most about Cohoes. It's everybody here wants what's best for the kids. And that is what I think is our biggest strength.
Okay, everybody got a chance to answer that question. Okay, there's one more question, not from the students, but I think it would be, we have a few minutes before closing statements, and I think it might, it came from the PTO. You do have a PTO here, is that what it's called? And so I thought it would be advantageous to just ask this one question. The question is, and now this would go to Sue. How would you have the Cohoes School District address challenges for learners of diverse backgrounds, skills, language, culture, and/or capabilities?
So that is actually becoming more and more in the daily lives of our school. I don't think that the community actually realizes how many children we do have in our school district that speak different languages, have different backgrounds, are not, have just moved into the country from elsewhere. And what we need to do is we need to build the resources for our staff to be able to educate those children and make sure that those children get the same tools, resources, and the development that they need to help these children to make sure that they get the education just that they deserve, just like everybody else. We have started to implement more secondary language programs. We have started to have meetings at certain schools with the community that does not speak English as their native language, just to get them more involved and to open the lines of communication and to let them know that they do still have a voice in the school district for their kids.
Okay, thank you. Sure, absolutely. How would you have the Cohoes School District address challenges for learners of diverse backgrounds, skills, language, culture, and capabilities?
So, not knowing the number of students and people in our community that did speak alternate languages or had alternate forms of learning abilities and all that kind of stuff, I think that the schools are doing a very good job at it as it is. I know my school in particular, Harmony Hill, has a lot of EML and students that they work with, and I think they're providing a great education for those people, giving them, what they need in order to succeed, so they're not falling behind. They're active just like everybody else should be in the schools. It's our job to again get them the resources that they need in order to become successful on multiple different levels. So just working with the schools, working with the administration to get those kids what they need when they need it is going to be should be the main focus.
Okay, Marianne?
I would say that we, as a school board, we need to make sure that our teachers, our educators have the professional development and the technology that they need to support learning for all of our students and at all levels of their abilities, and make sure that every child that walks through the door has the opportunity to grow and thrive and learn.
Sarah?
I think we need to build a better culture and fair practices for everyone. We are a diverse community, and that's definitely reflected in our school districts. I think it's a great thing. I love that my own kids get to see the diversity, and not to shed light, but my kids have even learned a bit of their own way of learning Portuguese just by sitting in the classroom at Harmony Hill, and I think it's great. I agree with Mary Ann, PD. I'm huge on PD. We need to give our teachers more of that, especially in E&L. We need more books that look like our kids, and teachers who represent our kids. And yeah, that's it. Sorry, I got nothing else.
Okay, I think it's time to move to our closing statements from our candidates. So we're going to go just the reverse. So Mikkel, you got the first question. You will get the first closing statement. And we'll go so that Sue gets the last closing statement. We'll just go in the same form.
I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to be here tonight. Hopefully the answers given and the things that I could potentially bring to the board will be something that you guys all see. There's a bunch of great candidates here. You guys have been awesome. Sue and Marianne over the last couple of years. We appreciate everything that you've done. I would love the opportunity to assist.
just want to thank the seniors of the high school for these very thought-provoking questions. You were correct, they are very good questions. And yep, as Mikael said, any one of us would bring a wealth of knowledge to the board. I hope that to be one of the ones elected and to get to continue to serve for the school board, but the city of Cohoes would do well with any one of us.
I would also like to thank the high school students for crafting such great questions. Thank you, Barbara, for taking the time to moderate. I think it takes strong teachers and a strong support staff and administrators and board members who understand the community and fight for what's right for our students, and I think I really could be that person. And I just really hope you guys would give me the chance to do that. Thank you.
So I want to thank everybody too, and obviously our Cohoes seniors are a really good group of kids. I've actually watched them grow up, and I have seen a lot of the kids in this community grow up, and they really get the support from the community. I actually, and this sounds silly, but enjoy being a part of the board. I enjoy going to the meetings and finding ways for us to support our kids, to make sure that they get a healthy, safe learning environment, so that our teachers and our educators and our staff and administrators get the resources and the support that they need. Someone actually, I can say my son said, "Mom, why are you doing this again?" And I said, because I actually enjoy it, and I know there's a lot of work to be done, and everybody needs a voice, and everybody needs a proponent, and I feel like that's what I bring to the board.
Okay, now this is my favorite part of every candidates forum. First, I'd like to thank Deb for taking the time to be our timekeeper. And then I'd like to thank every single one of these candidates. You, a school board, is the very element of our democracy. It is the first thing that citizens of a community see in their community and come out, and the fact that you have put yourselves out there to be a part of this community and to be on a board of education, I think everybody needs to applaud all four of these candidates. They have put themselves out there. Then, after we applaud them, please do. Then I would like to actually applaud you. On a beautiful Monday night, you actually came out to participate in the very, very basics of our democracy, in the ability to watch candidates, to see what candidates can offer your community, and to participate. The League for, over 100 years now has said, democracy is not a spectator sport, and you have proven tonight that you are willing to participate in the very basics of our democracy, and I applaud every one of you, including our youngest one, that came out on a beautiful Monday night to make sure that your community is being looked after and reveled in. And I've already thanked the students. I wish some of them had come. They're probably all playing baseball and lacrosse and are taking showers. So remember, the election for both the school board candidates and the budget is May 20th. So make sure you get out and support your school budget, because if we don't do that, then our future generations are going to suffer greatly. So thank you for coming. Get out and vote on May 20th. Good night.